Today we're buying the cheapest tools on Amazon and seeing if they're any good. And this video is brought to us by Squarespace. I'm a woodworker, so I bought woodworking tools I could use to make a project. We're starting this off right with the circular saw. This was the cheapest one that I could find on Amazon, and we're just gonna see if it's any good. Maybe we'll compare it to a circular saw that I have. It doesn't feel too bad. We went corded. It was $39.12. Comes with a blade, an edge guy, an Allen key, and instructions. Not here. I got the corded for $39.12. You can get the cordless for $92.80. Let's make this clear. This is not sponsored. I paid for this with my own money by selling drugs. This does have really good ratings. It's like 4.5 stars and there's 155 ratings. So I got high expectations for this cheap circular saw. I did not want another battery. What do you call that? I didn't need another battery system to charge. So I wanted cordless. I wanted cheap. We're gonna do some budget woodworking here. I'm not sure how to put a blade on here. Daniel, can you look this up on YouTube to see? So this is the circular saw that I normally use. It's a DeWalt. It is a cordless one, and the saw is $149, and then you can get a battery for 60-some dollars. This is the corded Wen, I think it's Wen, and $39.12. So quite the price difference, although you're tethered by a cord, which I'm okay with. I ain't mad at the quality of this at all. It's really good. My only concern is the depth stop and then the angle. It feels like you could easily knock it out of place. The DeWalt one is a little bit more higher quality, but we're gonna plug this in here in a second. There's nothing that I'm mad about with this at all. I think this is gonna work great. It works. It's got that new motor smell to it. Yeah, dude. That's a good buy right there. The dust collection, it's better than no dust collection, which my DeWalt does not have any dust collection at all. So let's go rank this. I agree with Amazon. 4.5 stars. Next, oh yes, the pink drill. This drill was $23.99. I wanted the cheapest cordless one, and look at that. Oh, it comes with a level. Are you kidding me? $23.99, and it comes with a level? Get out of here. We're off to a good start today. It comes with wall anchors and a level. So obviously it's kind of meant to hang pictures. The way it charges is a USB cable. It's actually USB-C. So you know it's somewhat recent. Like everything should be USB-C now. Is there a charge? Is there? Ah, good. I was hoping there was a charge so I could use it. It does have that new motor smell, which is weird. So it comes with wall anchors, a level, a set of bits, which maybe they're great. I don't know. It comes with all the other little bits that you may need. Variable speed. Got reverse. A little light indicator back there. $23.99. I ain't mad at this at all. I can stop it with my hand. So you're not gonna be, you're not taking this to the construction site. I wanna be able to drill into wood. Let's see if I can actually use this for a woodworking project. I'm gonna use the 1/4-inch bit that came with it. It bogs down a little bit, but it can drill. Let me do one more just to show that it does bog down a little bit, and then we'll throw a Forstner bit in there. Daniel brought up the point that it is only 8 volts, so you know what you're buying up front. Like other drills that we use around the shop are 20 volts. So I got a Forstner bit in there. Let's see what happens. For light duty work, it works great. I don't know how long it's gonna hold a charge. Definitely not long if you're doing stuff with Forstner bits and where you're actually using a lot of pressure. Would I recommend this as a woodworker? Probably not. You probably want something a little bit more powerful, but for light duty stuff, this will work great. 3 stars. The other one in the box is the Black & Decker 4.5 amp jigsaw.
Jiggy with it.
Let's get jiggy with it. Do you see a theme here? We are buying tools to make a project. Fun fact, I think I used to have this exact saw many years ago before I considered myself a woodworker. And now I have one again. So it's Black & Decker. You're all familiar with Black & Decker. Feels super solid. I'm not gonna, that base doesn't feel like it's gonna be knocked out of square. Does it come with a bit? I don't think so. Does not come with a bit. A blade. It does come with instructions. Let me show you what I think of your instructions. I was wrong. I want to be super clear here. This is not like a comprehensive scientific review. We're just having fun today. We're just having some fun. The blade change on here is really simple. That is nice. It's got dust collection where the butthole would be. This is the Bosch that I used for many years here on this channel. I decided I needed something cordless, so I went with the Festool because I already had the battery system, and you know about Festool, right? So these two guys, I would definitely recommend. They feel really good. If I compare the weight and feel, exactly as good, I mean, just as good. There's no doubt. It feels well built. It's got that high impact plastic. I feel like I could just throw this into the toolbox and it won't break. Any saw, even that circular saw that we got earlier, I highly recommend swapping out for a good blade. Usually the blade that comes with a tool is not very good. So I'm throwing a Bosch blade in here. The angle adjustment on here does kind of suck. It's 2 screws so it's not like a knob. You gotta loosen these 2 screws, set your angle. It does go to extremes, and then tighten it down. So on the Bosch one, you flip this lever, you pull it back, and then it's not smooth, but it's got positive stops in there to set the angle. And then you just lock that down. The Festool one, it looks like you need a completely different base. Let's not talk about that right now. Maybe I have one, but I don't think I do. So yeah, it's cheap and it's kind of a pain to set the angle, but you can. Variable speed control in the trigger. Four. The only reason it's not a 5 is because it's a pain to change the angle. Otherwise, not even sure what this is. Japanese pull saw. $7. Oh, I gotta put it together? $7.99. The cheapest pull saw that you can get on Amazon. I actually need the instructions to put this together. There's multiple parts. Is what it is. I'll rip up the instructions afterwards. How about that? The reason I was so confused is I was like, what the heck is this thing? And it didn't fit anywhere. Basically it's a screwdriver for one side and then you get an Allen key for the other side. So it takes 2 tools to put this together. So this is the one that I typically use in my videos. I paid $40 for it. It came recommended from Jonathan Katz-Moses. It's worked very well for me over the years. This one, how much was this? $7.99. They feel the same. It gets a little weird, the wrapping on the handle there. Zoom in on that. Like there's some bare wood exposed there, and whatever this is called, maybe the ferrule, it's a little loose. So, I mean, it's a $7.99 saw. That's its max depth, but that cut pretty good. Let's compare it to the other one. Yeah, they cut exactly the same. Exactly the same. A Western saw cuts on the push, a Japanese saw cuts on the pull. I learned to cut dovetails on the pull, so that's why I prefer the Japanese pull saw. Again, I ain't mad at it. Carry Japanese pull saw, 4.5. The only reason it's not a 5 is the weirdness here and the loose ferrule. Well, what do you know? What do you know? Another saw. Just a saw to cut straight lines.
That's your first one, isn't it? You don't have a regular wood saw, do you?
Oh, I do. Oh, I do. This is my Lee Nielsen super expensive saw. Yeah, so this was one of the first luxury tools that I bought for myself many years ago. Top cut. I feel like this is the saw Tom Cruise would use. Top cut. Oh, it feels sharp. It doesn't do the thing. Listen. If it doesn't do the thing, 4.2 stars, 388 rankings. So it's got some good reviews on there. $9.08. Does it cut wood? It certainly does. It's a pretty clean cut. Not nearly as fast as the bigger Lee Nielsen one. You get more of a stroke with this. That's also gonna speed that up. And the cuts just felt different. The teeth are smaller on this. For $9.08, that's a good buy. Now, I don't know how long that's gonna stay sharp, so you wanna keep that in mind when buying cheap tools. Doesn't do the thing. Let's go rank it. I'll give that one a 4. So far, my rankings have been in line with Amazon. So maybe that's influencing me. So I'm gonna stop looking at the Amazon ratings and see how they compare. This one has a whole bunch of stuff. Let's start off with the small one. The cheapest tape measure I could find on Amazon. How am I gonna test it?
How are you gonna test it, bro?
We're gonna go by hand feel. Your mom knows about hand feel.
What you usually go by?
$5.59. I went and got the Imperial. Now, I do like having the fractions on there. Everybody outside of America is rolling their eyes right now, understandably. It feels like it has a nylon coating, like the more expensive ones. I don't like tape measures with a huge spring snapback, because if you get your finger in there, it takes it off. It does want to just snap back. So if you got your finger in there, it would take off. It's got a little lock on there. I have yet to find a tape measure that I am in love with. I have purchased probably about 20 to 25 different tape measures. This is what I could quickly gather up. I will say the highest quality ones are probably the Camellans, but there are certain things that I don't like about them for fine woodworking. The ones that I have the most of are the Craftsman 12-foot. They're affordable. They're closer to what I'm looking for in a tape measure, and I probably have 6 or 7 of them all throughout the shop. I've talked directly to 3 different tape measure manufacturers to develop my own, and talks have stopped. I have a whole list of demands that I want in a tape measure for fine woodworking. Maybe someday I'll revisit that and try to develop my ultimate tape measure, but for now, my favorites are the Craftsman, and the highest quality is the Camellan. This guy right here, I mean, there's no difference in, it's not as high quality as the Camellan, but it's higher quality than most of them. There's nothing to be mad about. And then comparing it to accuracy to a well-known one, it is dead on balls accurate.
It's an industry term.
4.5. Next out of the Santa bag is I got the cheapest combination square that I could get. I can already tell by how light this package is, it's cheap. So this is the high-end Woodpeckers one. I absolutely love it. It's got a few more features, although it doesn't have the level. This feels cheap. It's so light. I feel like I could almost bend this if I wanted to. Almost, I can't. Going with a known high quality square, even though it feels super cheap, it's super square.
Dead on, balls accurate.
How long will it stay square? I don't know. All the edges are not smoothed over, so it has like these really sharp edges on there. That's just something that you get with a higher end one. There's a company that you can get at a lot of like box stores. I think it's called Empire. That's a good starter combination square. I would recommend that over this. This is so flimsy, it's going to bend eventually. How much did I pay for this guy? This was $8.88. The Empire combination square is $13.97 at Home Depot. Trust me, trust me, trust me. Spend a couple extra dollars and get that one if you're looking for a budget square. Amazon has it as 4 stars. I'm giving it 1. There's better options. We have a history with some corner clamps. This is a different brand. Maybe, hopefully, we've got better luck this time. WeTools? WeTools? We all know the brand WeTools, right? That's high quality. I tried to find the ones that I purchased a few weeks ago, and I'm pretty sure I threw them out. They were so bad. This is much better, much higher quality, is at least in the spring. I'm not a corner clamp guy. That is because I have these, and these work so freaking well. I can use these as a right angle. I can use these to hold pieces together as I'm gluing and clamping things up. It helps in assembly. And then it has some really nice clamps on here that I can just throw in there like that and tighten down. But I could tighten this down. That ain't moving. Okay. That is why I don't use these types of corner clamps, but we're talking about budget stuff here. If you're on a budget, I wouldn't say no to these. How much did they cost? $10.79 for 4 of them. I'm not even gonna mention how much the woodpeckers cost. We'll save that review for another video. 3.5. Usable. I guess they're recommended if you're on a budget. I got the cheapest drill bits that I could find on Amazon. Yeah, there's a drill bit in there, dude.
You got it.
I got it. All right. It's got that packaging that everybody loves. Daniel was just saying it's got the hex bottom on there, and it's good for the quick change in the drill, and plus you get a better grip on there. They're coated with like a Oh yeah, I can tell. Like this one's brand new and it's sharp, but there's definitely a difference. Yeah, good bits. Look at that. Look at. I love that. Will I be using these bits? You bet. I ain't afraid to give cheap tools 5 stars if they're 5 stars. So there's still a lot left in this package here. You can never have enough woodworkers telling you you can never have enough clamps. I bought these for $25.82, but they are currently $36.89. That comes to $9.22 a piece if you divide this up. Here is the thing. If you have access to a Harbor Freight, these are $4.49. The quality, I'm a huge Harbor Freight clamp fan. Most of my clamps are from Harbor Freight. I freaking love them. They're so cheap and they last forever. So the quality is about the same. I don't have any high-end F-style clamps because I'm such a fan of the Harbor Freight ones. I've got nothing to complain about except if you have the option to get the Harbor Freight ones, it's going to be half the price. I was about to give it a 4-star rating. I have to reduce the 4-star rating because it fell apart. The Harbor Freight ones have a stop, so you can't go any further than this. These don't have that stop, and once you go past that stop, it all falls apart, and it is a pain in the ass. 2 stars. We got 3 woodworking tools left in the box, but before I get to that, I'd like to tell you about today's sponsor, and that is Squarespace. I just celebrated 9 years of doing this YouTube thing full time. I've been using Squarespace for over 10 years. That tells you how much I like the service. And I used to be a professional web developer. I'm glad I don't have to mess with the code, the cloud, the backend, or any of that anymore. Squarespace makes my life easier and it can make your life easier. They have this thing called the Fluid Engine, and you really don't need to know what the Fluid Engine does, except it makes your website look good on mobile, tablet, and desktop, and it reformats itself on mobile, tablet, or desktop, so it's easy to read on all of those formats. I use one of their award-winning templates because they look good. If you want to change how your website looks in the future, all you gotta do is swap out templates. It's as easy as that. Everything is just drag and drop and copy and paste. It's for people who don't wanna make websites from scratch, which should be all of us these days. We've all got better things to do than to make a website from scratch. If you wanna have a private password protected website, you can do that with Squarespace. You wanna sell both physical and digital items? You can do that with Squarespace. They just recently added the asset library, which allows me to host all my important images and logos into one central place so I can reuse them throughout my website. Let's say you're like me and you're a maker or a woodworker or a crafter or an artist and you're out at an art show or you're at a craft show or you just run into somebody who wants to buy your work. You can take payments through the Squarespace app right on your phone. How cool is that? So, visit squarespace.com, and when you're ready to launch, visit squarespace.com/makesomething for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. We got 3 more to go. Let's do it. We got 3 more things in the box. This is for cutting small parts on the table saw. This guy goes into the miter slot of my table saw and is used for ripping thin pieces. I don't have one, so it would be nice to finally have one of these. When ripping thin strips, you want that cutoff piece on the non-fence side of your blade so it doesn't get caught in between the blade and the fence and come back at you. So you get it set, then you bring your fence in until it kisses this bearing. You lock that down, we run our piece through, and then we can just keep moving our fence in to cut our thin strips. Obviously, you can go much thinner than this by just adjusting this, moving it towards the blade a little bit more. You lock that down. You just keep moving your fence in. 4.5 stars on Amazon. I think it's better than that. I think that is a 5-star deal right there. A couple of these I bought on Amazon Prime Day, so they might be a few dollars cheaper than what you see now. We have another Amazon Prime Day coming up for the holiday season, so look out. This was $8.49, 4.6 stars on Amazon, the cheapest router bit set you can get on Amazon. And like Daniel was just saying to me, everybody starts off with this because when you buy individual router bits, especially the good ones, the costs add up quickly. So I know that I'm waving my hand across there. That's super dangerous. But I know they're sharp now. Maybe they're not made out of a super high grade steel, so maybe they'll dull fast. But this is a great way to get started with router bit sets. You're not using most of these bits every single day. A lot of them you're gonna use one time a year. And a cheap bit set like this, that's the perfect way to go. So I'm just gonna throw one. All right, here's the thing, more real talk. Zoom out for real talk. Actually, zoom in for real talk. Real talk here. You know what, actually, this is sit in a chair backwards real talk, okay?
You forgot what he was gonna say.
I totally forgot what I was gonna say. I remember what I was gonna say. I don't know why I went through this whole real talk thing, sit in a chair backwards. I need to, wait, one more thing. Sit in a chair backwards with my hat on backwards. This is like the father-son talk. It didn't come. But I also ordered the cheapest router I could on Amazon. And I was hoping to use that router with these bits. The router has not come yet. It still says being prepared for shipping. It was like 17 bucks or whatever. So I'm not gonna show you the router today. So I'm gonna put these bits in my super expensive, fancy ass, high-end router. But just know, I wanted to use these in a cheap router. We're just gonna have to wait. You're just gonna have to wait. So I'm gonna put my head on straight. I'm gonna flip the chair around, normal. And we're gonna route some shit. Here's an open letter to every router bit company that has ever existed. Please make your router bits easier to get out of the packaging and out of the case. I'm so worried that I'm going to cut a finger getting these things out. Please make the packaging more safe. That worked good, just like I knew it would. We even used our clamps to hold down the piece to the bench. Let's go rate them. I don't think they'll last forever, but I don't have proof of that. They met and exceeded my expectations. 5 stars. I don't need a hat anymore. We got one more left. If you notice, we bought enough tools to actually make a fine woodworking project. So in a couple weeks, we're gonna put these tools to the test and we're gonna make a fine woodworking project with only the cheapest Amazon tools I could get. And I wanna prove to you, I wanna prove to myself that you don't need a big fancy shop full of big fancy tools to make cool shit. So let's open up the last one. Something else that I haven't talked about is I bought these tools on purpose. They are all gonna go in my second shop. We're gonna talk about my second budget-friendly shop here in a little bit. Maybe not today. In the biz, we call that a teaser. Some of y'all wanna see big fancy tools. Some of y'all wanna see budget-friendly tools. I will now be able to accommodate both. The last one is when I needed a sander. This guy was $17.16 with 4.6 stars on Amazon. I think even though when is some of the cheapest tools that you can get on Amazon, from all the reviews that I've seen, it seems to be very, very reliable. It seems to be like if you're looking to get started and you're looking for budget-friendly stuff, when might be the way to go. I couldn't tell from the description if it came with sandpaper or not. It does. But I went ahead and bought extra sandpaper in case it didn't, because I wanted to be able to demonstrate this. So I've had cheap sanders and I've had really expensive sanders. I have found that the cheap sanders, they don't like it when you put any force on there. You shouldn't be putting force on your sander anyway, but they can't handle that. Also, the vibrations on them can be crazy. What's the name of the, not Black & Decker. I can't think of the name of my very first palm sander, but it vibrated so much that it was really uncomfortable to use. Skill, yeah, good call. It was a Skill sander. Not knocking on Skill at all, but 10 years ago when I had a Skill palm sander, it was just very uncomfortable to use and you couldn't use it for more than like 5 minutes and you get that weird, yeah. So let's plug this in and see how this feels. Velcro, sandpaper, it's what you want. It's got dust collection holes in there. I don't have any dust fittings that fit that. This is a piece of the pallet that we cut off earlier. I don't have dust collection, so thank goodness this is the last tool. That was 80. Let's put on a 120. So, I don't have a dust collection, so I can't comment on that. I'm assuming it'll work fine. That revealed a nice piece of pallet wood. That's like a soft maple. I don't think that's pine. I was gonna give it a 4. What's keeping it from a 5 is its weird dust collection port. I do think it deserves a 4.5, so let's give it a half star. Today was a good day.
We had fun.
I will use nearly all of these tools. You're gonna wanna subscribe because we're gonna make a project with these guys in a couple weeks. As always, be safe, have fun, stay passionate, and make something. Oh wait, everything has changed. Daniel was filming the final shot for the day and I was cleaning up over on the bench and I found the adapter that goes on there so you could use regular dust collection.